Hi, this is Admp with the US stock highlights here on Share Talk for Wednesday, the 20th of January. Starting off with Itrm Group, we've had a nice gap through neckline resistance, which is normally a good sign. It was also filling the gap down, the rather strange gap down from the end of September. The view at this stage is that while we're above the initial neckline resistance there around the $3.30 level on an end-of-day close basis, we could hit that late August resistance line projection as high as $6 as soon as the end of next month. Moving along to a stock which is also equally rare, more rare stocks today than in the recent past, which may be a sign of something. Resistance on the way down for Admp Pharmaceuticals in August was around the $1.14 level. And really the breakthrough that has been the trigger for a decent push to the upside. Obviously, we've already retested the late July resistance at $1.51, but an end-of-day close above that particular peak, which we're quite close to, could allow us to hit the $2 area, which is an old resistance line projection from November 2019. So basically, above $1.51, a possible $2 there for Admp Pharmaceuticals, hopefully by the end of next month. Another stock which is making a debut here, Ndra Bioscience. Here we have had a sharp gap through, well actually we managed to close above that old peak at $2.22 yesterday, and that was a pretty good trigger in terms of delivering the upside today. We peaked at $3.85, but we could hit as high as that June 2020 resistance line projection target as $5 by the end of next month, especially while we remain above yesterday's closing level there around the $2.36 price. So that would be, while we're above that, looking for further upside. Ideally, there's no end-of-day close back below yesterday's high of $2.68, so at least while we're above that, looking quite hot for the $5 area. On to another relatively obscure name, and this time it is coming in the form of Edsa Biotech. Obviously biotechs, farmers, etc. on fire at the moment, and they have been for many months now since the pandemic started. The view here is that we have made a nice gap through December neckline resistance around $5.50. While we're above that, on an end-of-day close basis, we could hit the top of a rising October trend channel and retest the post-summer 2020 resistance at $9 plus, and that could be seen as soon as the end of next month, while we remain above $5.50. Good-looking situation coming up next, and obviously most of the stocks we're looking at here are looking good. They are the highlights after all, but Inuv managing to break a previous target. Here we were suggesting that above $1.11 we could hit up to $1.50, which has been easily achieved overnight, and the view at this stage is that while there's no end-of-day close back below $1.50, there's a possible fresh leg to the upside for Inuv, rather up to a late 2018 resistance line projection target up to the $3 level, and that could be seen by the end of February. So everything here about holding the $1.50 level. Another stock which is on the front foot at the moment is coming up, and here we've got Itrm Therapeutics with a pretty snazzy looking chart in the sense that we're coming off the lows, and done that with a few gaps here and there, gap higher and then gap down and bear trap and another gap. So the stock trying to, well, seemingly determined to ensure that anybody in there on the long side is flushed out. The view at this stage is that while there's no end-of-day close back below the initial January resistance at $1.45, we could hit the top of a rising June trend channel as high as $3.28 over the next 4 to 6 weeks. It's quite good that we've got a relatively decent risk-reward on that particular setup. On to a stock which is another one which is a relatively new situation on the technical front here. and it takes the form of Ndra Life Sciences. Managed to break neckline resistance and resistance on the way down from last year, $1.55, and while there's no intraday close back below that, we're hoping on a target at a January resistance line projection from last year as high as $3.50, and the time frame on that as soon as the end of next month. Just a few situations to go now. One of the best ones of the recent past is a stock which was covered here recently, Obln Therapeutics, managed to hit and break the ambitious target, the $5.40, earlier today, and actually overshot that by quite a considerable margin. We could see the shares hit that fresh target there, an August 2019 resistance line target as high as $7.60 over the next 2 to 4 weeks, and that's particularly valid while we hold above the $5.40 level on an end of day close basis. Probably will be hanging around either side of that particular feature, but above $5.40, hopefully the upside argument remains intact. Going on to another new name, obscure name, Steel Connect. Here we've had a very sharp gap through the, I suppose, $1.50 to $2 resistance zone. That's been broken in one with the gap, and the view now is that while we're above that old peak from December 2019 at $1.88, we could still hit as high as $3.20 or 30, which is a late 2019 resistance line projection. So a bit more to go on the upside for Steel Connect. Stock which I did cover not too long ago, and pleased to see that it's behaved itself. The UK version of it doing well as well at the moment. Tmdi Life Sciences, that's moving from the AIM market to the full list in London, so attracting more interest. The view here is that while we're above the initial January resistance at $4.30, on an end of day close basis, the previously suggested target at the top of a July broadening triangle at $5.70 plus should be on its way, hopefully, as soon as the end of this month. So going quite well at Tmdi at the moment. Just a couple of names left in today's sweep. The first is Titan Medical, with the gap through resistance at, the gap through the top of an old gap at $2, and through the resistance from last month at $2.04. While there's no end of day close back below $2, we're looking as high for the shares to hit as high as $4.30, which is the top of a rising trend channel from the end of February last year. The last stock of the day is certainly a new name, and it looks like it's starting off well here with the Zsan Pharma in the frame. Here we've broken a line of resistance from September and gap through the initial January peak here at $1.05. While there's no end of day close back below $1.05, looking towards the top of a rising trend channel from the beginning of February last year, which is promising a $2.10 plus target as soon as the end of next month. So a decent island reversal there, bear trap, and then another gap higher. So I think the stock has made sure that nobody's in there accidentally on the long side, apart from in the wake of the latest push through $1. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.